Yes, it is the news with Scott and friends. How is everyone doing this fine day? That's my new intro done by Culture Casino. I love it. I love it. That's always what I wanted, was that old timey feel. Yeah, I appreciate that he did that. Hopefully he gets to see it at some point. But as people are rolling in, let's say hello. How are you doing, Stig?
I'm doing quite well.
I believe you are. I'm doing well too, my friend. I am doing well too. Jayne, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic this morning.
Wow.
Oh, she
fantastic.
Wins. She wins. Fantastic is better than us. She wins.
Nice. Yeah, I'm with you. Robot voice, the Time Prophet, will probably happen many times because I'm going to try to read my own articles. So be prepared for Robo Spork to make many, many, many appearances today. But it is Sunday. I never get to do Sunday streams. So thank you guys for the last minute jumping on with me. I appreciate it. Stephen Walton wouldn't make time. He's too busy. He thinks he's so great. Oh, I'm Stephen Walton. My book is almost completely, backed. Ooh, look at me.
Stephen Walton has fat ankles.
Oh, yes, he does. And there, yeah, and
really
one
gross.
nut.
Yeah, just one.
Yes,
it's in the
just
in the middle.
One. It's in the middle, and it's just shaped weirdly like a pear.
Yeah,
not even a good pear. Emotionally unstable amphibian. All hail the Sporkinator. Thank you, sir. The beautiful Miss Martin Muses. She is in the chat. Brutal Morningwood is here. Hail and a heartfelt hey, howdy, hey to all. May the spork be with you. May the spork be with you too, sir. We have the great Stig in the chat and on the panel. Also Jayne. And once again, the great Time Prophet, who I almost just blocked. Sorry about that. I hope I didn't. Jack D up in the house. If you have not checked out Jack's channel, Jack has a really cool channel, so please check him out. And if someone is a mod, you can put his link in the chat. And if someone comes in later, please remind them. And we have the great Roof Korean 92. Fat ankles, how dare you? Now, I finally realized what Roof Korean 92 means. Wasn't that during like the LA riots? The roof Koreans defending their like businesses.
I don't know.
Was it LA riots or was it the BLM riots?
No, LA, I believe.
Oh, really?
Well, it was like all of Los Angeles,
it's
like
whenever,
all the different
basically.
areas. Yeah,
whenever there's
anything. But according to Christie, are you coming on? Are you coming on? If you are, someone send her.
If you don't,
someone send her the link.
If you don't come on, I'm gonna kick a badger.
I did invite her.
Hey, Karen.
Namaskaram, peeps. Nice. One of my great channel members. Thank you very much. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, Miss Martin Muses. Early and often. According to hold on. We might have gotten some here. The Roof Koreans are a national treasure. And it was the LA riots, so we were right.
Okay.
The post Rodney King verdict. Yes.
Okay.
That was that was a riot that lasted what? A week and a half?
Yeah.
Was it that long? Not as long as what we've been going on with right now, though.
Yeah.
Well, that was in location, though. One singular location.
Right. And it was one of those where I could say, okay, they waited for a verdict. They were pissed off and it exploded. Kind of understood that one until, the beating of like Mr. Dent and all that stuff happened.
I didn't understand any of it. It still was pointless.
Well, I tried to be, a hip cis white male. So Jayne, thank you.
What the heck does cis mean?
You're down with chicks, I think.
Oh, so why not just say straight or hetero?
I think cis means straight or hetero. Well, I think it means hetero.
I think it means that your gender and your, I guess, biology And how you identify all align together.
Okay. So, okay.
Okay.
Well, it's
Christie's
good that people are
me.
It's good that people are making up new words for us.
Right.
Of course. We need that. We need more of that. We really do. And if I go robo, I'm sorry, but I have to check out Twitter because Christie is, all up in my grill right now. So
yeah, she told me to send her the link, so I'm just going to do that then.
Oh, okay. Please do that then. That's perfect.
I should have sent her porn or something.
The Place to Be Reviews is up in the house. Guys, great channel. Was on his channel Friday night, was it? We had a good time talking Mandalorian, which our first topic will be about tonight. Really, it's about SJWs, but, insert Mandalorian talk here. You know what I mean? Okay. Miss Martin Muse is explaining it to us. Cis means you identify with the gender of your body.
Like most people.
Yeah. So do we need the topic? Do we need the label? Label if, I don't know. To me, you label if it's different. Hi.
Speaking of cis people, here's Christie.
Yeah.
We can't hear you.
Very quiet, Christie. Turn up your mic or something.
Okay.
This is professional. You're on Sporking News Podcast. I hope you understand that. This isn't, Midnight's Edge after dark. This is real professional shit right here. No? Oh, we got a great comment. Very silent, but we got it. What are you on right now?
Besides meth.
No, we can't hear you. Is this like one of those hearing tests where I pretend like I can hear it and I just raise my hand?
Right.
But I really can't because I'm going deaf. I'm an old guy. Oh. Bye, Christie. Goodbye. So, to my channel members, I'm thinking about later today, maybe around the 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, doing an open channel member stream because I have the time finally, and you guys have been amazing because I have given you no content for you guys giving me extra money. So maybe do an open, kind of like what Nerdrotic does. I'll put the link out in the chat of the member stream, and you guys can jump on and we'll just bullshit for like an hour. So let me know if that's something you guys would be into.
If you do that, all the psychos will join.
That's what I'm hoping for.
I haven't been on one of those yet.
You have a super sticker too.
I know. I just was about to look at that. Miss Martin Muses, one of my great panelists on Monday night, sends most likely a rose because that's her thing. I love it.
Yeah.
So
she's always peddling those roses.
Yes. I will. Let me come back in. Okay. We're waiting for you, Christie. Where are you? All right. Anywho, I say we start the article because, time is money there, Christie. So let me know if I go robotic when I start to read this. But the headline is The Mandalorian just gave Gina Carano a way out of the show. Now, why? Why is this an article? Does anybody know why?
I haven't seen her wanting a way out. So.
Exactly. So is this somebody hoping it's a way out for Gina Carano? Because to me, she's one of the only reasons I watched the show, which I do not like.
Yeah,
but I watch it to review.
It's so stupid,
it hasn't
though.
Been very good. So
she never attacked trans people.
No.
All that happened was that a bunch of weirdos started demanding that she put pronouns in her bio. And she didn't want to do that because you're not supposed to give in to bullies.
Right.
That's
right.
it.
She never had a bad word or a harsh word to say about anybody, actually.
No.
That's what's so crazy about this.
And back in the day, she would have been applauded for what she did, not tried to be canceled. You know what I mean? People would have gave her props for defending against bullying because there's like acceptable bullying on Twitter and there's not acceptable bullying. And when Twitter lines up with, if you line up with Twitter's philosophy, then you could bully anybody you want. off the stream, off the service, the platform. Excuse me.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. And then let's listen.
And the people who do this are the people who demand that other people respect them, which is an oxymoron almost, right?
Right. How do you demand respect? You earn respect.
This is also someone who they would have held up as an icon because of her role, being a woman, strong, beating up guys and all of that. But she says the wrong thing, and then suddenly, or she says something they don't like or doesn't say what they want, and now it's fire her. It's just crazy.
Right away.
Yeah.
And again, going back to what Stig said, all because she didn't want to bend the knee and put pronouns, even though she said she understood why people did that and support their right to do that, but she didn't want to do that. They attacked her.
Yeah, and if they don't like what she has to say, they can block her. That's it.
Exactly. That's why they give that option, right?
Yeah, they have the solution right there.
So Miss Martin Muses is saying their out was her joining the New Republic, but she's still in the world. She's still in the galaxy. It's like she could still run into the Mandalorian. It's not. It could
also be a spinoff show.
About
I saw. Yeah, go ahead. Yep.
I spoke to someone who's a very good source, and I have suspected this for quite a long time now. The Mandalorian, the show, the reason why it seems so fillerish and kind of sloppy written is because it's a hub. It's a starting point for other spin-offs.
Yes.
Katie Sackhoff, Boba Fett. It wouldn't surprise me if we get a miniseries about the sheriff with Timothy Oliphant.
Yeah.
Because that's why they hire. They don't hire big names like that just for one episode, right?
Right. Well, somebody I trust and somebody who's come to be a valuable source to me that has told me many things that I never bring to videos because I don't know, take it with a grain of salt type of videos. I don't do those a lot, but this person has never been wrong. And they have told me that I was told it is a season for 5 backdoor pilots. You have they wanted to do a backdoor pilot with Gina Carano and Carl Weathers. They wanted to do a backdoor pilot for Bo-Katan. They wanted to do a backdoor pilot for Rosie, what's her name? Ahsoka Tana, whatever the hell. Maybe like you said, the mini series with the sheriff, and there was one more.
Yeah, Boba Fett.
Boba Fett. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm calling it now. Ahsoka is gonna get Baby Yoda because then her show will be boosted by Baby Yoda from the get go.
Well, it makes sense for Baby Yoda to go with her.
No, it makes no sense
compared to being with a Mandalorian bounty hunter. That makes no sense.
Yeah, the thing is though, they have stressed it for I don't know how many seasons of Rebels that Ahsoka is not a Jedi. She never qualified past Padawan. And she kept saying she's not a Jedi. She didn't continue the stuff. And the Jedi that everyone knows in the galaxy at this point is Luke. And he is building a Jedi Academy. So why not give Baby Yoda to Luke?
But I think that's the thing. That would be her mission, basically. It would go from the Mandalorian trying to transport the child to someone to her trying to transport the child to someone.
Right. Yeah. And that's another one of our TFM friends that I was on a stream with the other night. He won't say it on there, but that was one of the pilots that I didn't hear about was a younger version of Luke. So a new actor playing Luke Skywalker, building his temple, his academy.
Then again, what's the point in that? We know he's going to give up, turn into a hobo, and die from an impossible overdose on a cliff.
Right.
So,
Right, exactly. Overdose of midichlorians in the Force. But listen to this first sentence of this article. Gina Carano has been under fire in recent weeks due to her political beliefs. The show has just offered her a way out.
Well, here's the thing.
Have you ever heard her?
She hasn't talked
Go
politics.
Ahead. Right. I've never once heard her say anything about politics. Not once.
No.
And that's right there. You know where this article is going.
She did post, I think, 2 things recently about Democrats, but up until that point, she hadn't posted anything political.
Right. I didn't see those. So, but for the most part, it was her feelings on masks, on this virus, on society today. But people decide if you believe. Like I could be the most hardcore Democrat, but if I say, I just don't believe a homemade, chin diaper is going to slow down this virus, well, then automatically people are going to believe I am a conservative. They're not going to believe that I am a Democrat. And that's why people are scared. Yeah, that's even worse.
The only time you should be wearing a diaper in your face is if you're shit-faced.
Oh, I actually love that one. Yes, you're absolutely right. So let's read a little of this stupid article and see what happens. Star Wars: The Mandalorian recently hinted that Cara Dune could be headed somewhere else in the galaxy far, far away. And given the recent controversy over actress Gina Carano, it's hard not to view the moment as a potential device for her to exit the show. Why? Some are mad at Gina Carano. Carano has been under fire in recent weeks for how she has shared her political beliefs on Twitter and social media. Carano talked about voter fraud in the 2020 election, tweeting a message about getting rid of fake votes and requiring identifications at the voting booths, which I wrote about for the, Deseret News? Is that how you would pronounce this? Deseret News?
Never heard of it.
Sure. Yeah, me either.
I guess.
Gina Carano said, we need to clean up the election process so we are not left feeling the way we do today. Put laws in place that protect us against voter fraud, investigate every state, film the counting, flush out the fake votes, require IDs, make voter fraud end in 2020, fix the system. Now, my love of that is that's considered her taking a political stance.
Now, this is common sense. If there's a suspicion of voter fraud, which there is, you can't get past that. You need to fix it so people can trust, the elections.
But here's the thing. Oh, go ahead.
People said the same thing in 2016. They didn't get canceled for it.
Exactly. You saw the left saying exactly this, pretty much verbatim. Right. And it was fine because it was perceived as being anti-Trump. Now suddenly someone says we should not have voter fraud. And that's the only statement being made. And suddenly, because it's perceived as being anti-Biden, it's a problem, even though the words themselves have not changed.
And doesn't that signal that people on the left also agree that voter fraud is a real thing? Because if you talk against voter fraud and cleaning up, these fake votes, they automatically are defending, I'm doing air quotes, defending Biden. So in a way, you're admitting that there was an issue with this election, but you don't want the real results because you're scared he might not have won.
I think it's just the hypocrisy that's built into the system we have now where we're constantly being pitted against one another. It's not there. I don't think there's any logic to it. It's just that those who are super partisan are going to use anything, even words that they themselves spoke. Now that other people are saying it because it's a different circumstance, they're suddenly against it. They do this every time. It's not even just now, and it's not even just this election, and it's not even just one side. It's consistent. This has been going on for so long now. I just don't know why the masses of people continue to buy into it. We should know by now that this is what they do.
I mean,
exactly.
One of the people working for Biden got arrested recently. He's on video being led out of the building in handcuffs for voter fraud.
Right. I also find it funny that the legacy media does not actually want to report on any of it. I can understand reporting on it and then putting whatever conservative or liberal view you want on it. I understand that, but they don't even want to. They're calling the affidavits fake. There are over like 200 affidavits signed in Michigan alone, and that is a sworn. That's like swearing in front of a judge. You're swearing that this is the truth, and they're saying they're bullshit.
What they should be reporting on are the legal cases. That's what I've been saying. I mean, that's pretty much my position. I could care less about what people are saying out of court. They need to be brought to court into these legal proceedings and present their evidence. An affidavit is just a notarized statement. That's all it is. So bring them to court and have them testify. Because right now, there's all of this, oh, this is fraud, this is fraud. Some of these things are fraud, some of them aren't. But the place to sort it out is the system that we have in place for that. So they should be reporting on the court cases, not on stuff posted on Twitter, but the stuff that's actually filed in court.
Yeah, I think.
Could someone send the author Stephen Walton the link? I can't right now. My computer's at max.
Okay, yeah, Jayne is sending. Oh,
what were you going to say though, Stig?
We'll let the woman do the work.
Oh, snap.
Would you also like a sandwich, Stig?
Actually, I made my own sandwiches today.
The sandwich thing, though, man, it's the greatest feeling in the world when my wife makes me a sandwich. God, it just makes you feel like this is the way life should be. Is that sexist of me?
It's like heaven for guys, right? It's like your thing.
It really is a freaking sandwich. That's all we want. A sandwich, a cold beverage, could be water. I don't care. A cold beverage and just a good job, guy. Good job.
Yeah, that's it always puzzled me when, those female astronauts went into space. I mean, there's nobody up there that needs a sandwich. It's pointless.
All right, I'm going to read on a little bit more while we get the author in here. Oh crap, he's here. Hold on.
Your link. Oh, there he is.
There he is.
You ask somebody to come on the show at like a godly hour in the morning, and then you don't even bother to send a link. I'm rushing. You
ungodly hour in the morning.
I'm waiting.
10:30 a.m. You freaking
it's a Sunday. You sleep until 1. That's what it is.
I was up at 3:30 to go to work. You bite me.
Look, just because the rest of us aren't out milking cows like you before the crack of dawn.
Well, Betsy needs to get the milk out, or she's gonna pop. Okay.
Stop milking yourself.
Hi, Walton.
Hey, what's up, Stig?
Oh, nothing much. Hanging out with Sporking and Jayne and you.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Did you get any more subs? Because we've really been pushing that Stig to 1,000 thing the last couple of days.
What?
Yeah,
yes,
Tom,
we have.
Yeah, Tom got us all, promoting your channel. I thought that's what you wanted.
No.
Oh. Well.
You could buy my T-shirt, though.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, I have a T-shirt.
You can buy his T-shirt.
Yeah, I have a top 5 T-shirt.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It is amazing. It's so awesome that he has a Teespring.
And you don't. Yeah.
I do have one. I just don't remember how to get back to it.
What? How?
I made one a very long time ago, and I don't know if I know where it is.
I've sold 2.
You've sold shirt? I haven't sold one shirt. I know I have a Teespring. Someone find it.
That's weird.
I do have one.
Scott, you would have the coolest merchandise.
Right?
Oh, just wait till you see my shirt.
Sporks?
Yeah, the brand. It's cool.
It is a cool. Thank you, Jayne. I like the Spork idea. I want a top 5 shirt, though. I'm going to get one.
All send free shirts and leggings if we had them to Nina, because she really would like to She really would like to advertise that for us.
I got to just get a shirt. I need to buy my own shirt. God dang it! I'll send her one. Nice. I've only owned 2 shirts. I have a Dark Council shirt and I have a Nerdrotic shirt.
Well, we see whose ass you're kissing.
Well, hey, Steven, you've taught me well. You freaking ass kisser. So, Steven, tell me what you think about the very first line of this article. So it says, the headline, The Mandalorian just gave Gina Carano a way out of the show. And then the first sentence is, Gina Carano has been under fire in recent weeks due to her political beliefs.
What political beliefs?
Do you know her political? Right. Do you know them? Do you?
No, I don't. I don't know what her political beliefs are. Common sense. Welcome to the club.
Right.
That's it.
That's all I know.
That's all I know.
Let's read a little bit more and we'll get back into it. There was a heavy social media reaction with some fans calling for her to be let go from The Mandalorian. Some, very few. The responses were mostly isolated to social media, which doesn't reflect the general population in most cases. Holy crap, that is the first time someone has made that statement.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, this is a small toxic minority who doesn't know their pronouns. Or I know we pick on the pronoun thing, but really maybe I do a little. I know I'm not even going to say a little too much because those people are mentally ill. I don't. Yes. And that's who it is. It's a bunch of angry people on the internet who need attention, who need to be a special kind of something to stick out, to be oppressed, to fight an imaginary oppressor. Like these are the types of. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody should give a shit what these people have to say. And those are the ones that are complaining about Gina. She's taking the Kurt Russell direction. Of actors staying out of politics, not getting political, and that's awesome. We need more of that. We don't need a bunch of activists running around in Uglywood. All right, God damn it.
Basically, what they're doing is they are building themselves a little more moral pedestal, and they're attacking people from that moral pedestal by. It's basically what they're doing is picking safe external targets for internal bitterness.
Absolutely. And while they're doing that, they're looking for their internal bitterness by putting their head up their ass. And that's an crazy. Now, kudos to them. That's a wonderful balancing act to have your head up your own ass while on a pedestal that you made for yourself.
Yeah, no wonder their heads are cracked.
They're ugly people. Ugly. Not just ugly on the inside. Yeah.
How would you want someone fired just because they have an opinion? That's the thing that just unnerves me. That's crazy.
Well, I mean, really. Let's be real. It kind of depends on the opinion, right? Like, I wouldn't hire the Cuties director for anything. I wouldn't. You know what I mean?
A perceived political opinion.
A perceived, and that's the thing, right? A perceived. It's not about someone's actual political opinion. Like, okay, if someone got up there and really said, I'm down for fascism or something like that, or communism. That'd be a political opinion that I'd have a problem with, and I might not want to support that person. But if you're talking about someone who stays away from politics, the problem here with these people is that she refuses to kneel. She's not capitulating to their groupthink, and therefore she is a target. That is a dangerous precedent to set or to endorse from anyone.
I think it goes both ways. I mean, you're saying, if she was espousing communist opinions, she would have a problem with it, but they're perceiving her behavior as transphobic.
Hey,
it's the same thing. It's people should be able to have an opinion and not be fired because of it. In my
absolutely,
view. Unless it's like talking about like the cutie situation where you're talking about pedophilia or something.
Right,
that's different. Right. But if you're not espousing anything illegal and you're not harming anyone, I just don't see why.
Everyone has.
You know what we do. We have the right. We have the right with our money not to support that. If Gina Carano was a commie, I wouldn't support her, but I wouldn't say cancel her. I would just say, I'm not going to support her because. You want people like that talking so that people realize how crazy that is.
Right. And then say, as a fan base, I'm not going to support it. I'm not going to spend my money on it. That's fine. But when they gather together and try to bring someone down and get them fired, especially in this situation where it's not overt. They're just reading into what she's saying. She's not even saying anything. That's just going too far.
Jayne, when the woman said, I support your right to add your pronouns and I back your right to do that, I just do not want to put it in my Twitter profile. To me, that should have been enough support for that group. But they said, no. Just like with Kurt Russell, because he was silent. Now, silence no longer can protect you. You have to choose a side. Yes.
Pratt was the same way. He was silent. He never said anything about anything, really. He made jokes and tried to make people laugh.
Yeah. Scotty, I'm right there. Well, look, I'm there with you. I'll fight for somebody's right to put pronouns in their bio, right? I have no problem with that. You have every freedom and every right to express yourself in that way. What you do not have the right to do is tell me that I have a problem because I am witnessing your mental illness. And I'm pointing it out.
Look, I support the right of Black Lives Matter to spew whatever they believe just as much as I support the KKK spewing whatever they believe. Do I agree with either group? The company Black Lives Matter or the KKK? No, I don't. But I support the right because of the First Amendment for them to speak what they want to speak. This country was formed on the freedom of being able to say what you want without the fear of being put into a prison camp because of it or being executed because of it. The only thing I do not agree with, and the Constitution already takes care of that, is the idea, or the amendments, is the idea of screaming fire in a crowded movie theater, or saying you should hurt somebody, or I'm going to hurt somebody.
Well,
those are the things I agree with, but that's already taken care of.
And that's the thing that people don't do really these days. You see some of it in the comment section, but for the most part, sane people or remotely sane people aren't that overt with it anyway. That's also this world we're living in where people aren't really expressing themselves in overt ways generally, but other people will read into whatever you say. Just like what we saw with Anna, right? When she was talking about the new She-Ra characters and how they're drawn. She didn't say anything. Like, she could have been talking about any aspect of the story, but people immediately started calling her racist, misogynistic, all this stuff. It was just, they read everything negative in their heads into her one-line statement.
Well, they ran a script. They have an internal script for these things. Whenever someone comes up against their thought process, a JavaScript is run in their head. They're NPCs, so a JavaScript is run in their head, and automatic responses come out, and it's racist, sexist. You are a fascist. You are a Nazi. It's like that meme was so impactful when it was allowed to be spread on social media, because the NPCs working in social media didn't want that thing going on, but it meant something because it's the truth. You get the same nonsense regurgitated to you every time you come up against their thought, and that's not how conversations are had. That's not how topics are debated. My issue is I have no problem debating anything. Just about anything. My issue is when there's no room for discussion. Because then there's no communication between both parties, and nothing can be at least agreed upon or disagreed upon civilly. That's one of my biggest issues with SJWs.
But how can you have a conversation if no one asks a question? That's the thing. People will take what you say, and they won't just ask you, what do you mean by this? It's immediately them imposing or imputing upon you their thoughts.
We're talking about mentally ill people with an IQ of about 35.
Dig it, Stig. Preach, brother, preach.
Yeah. So there's
accidental tourist. I'm really real quick. Accidental tourist is because my computer sucks. All right. Thank you though for being here. But because of all of you and because of the road trip I've been on, I am going to buy a computer in the next few weeks that can launch a freaking spaceship. And accidental tourist, will be on my first stream there in the chat, listening to how fast it moves.
He says this, but he's building it himself. So just imagine you're going to see like a weird
tower and
a half put together with like string and bubble gum.
The wire nuts. I have no, not paper clips. God, I have actual, those black clips you get at Staples. I got those. I'm ready, dude.
Hey,
I got a cardboard box. Yes, sir.
I know what you could do. Just leave the bottom open, aim your ass at it, and take some Walton enema.
What the hell? I was about to stick up for you. I wanted to hear Stig talk more about mentally ill people.
No. You did a damn Swede comment the other day. You're on my list.
I did.
Yeah.
Listen, Scotty, were you there when I said that?
No, I did. I don't remember.
I was on Comics Division. I think it was on Comics Division. And I said,
which I'll be on tomorrow night.
And I was promoting Stig's channel. And I asked them, I said, especially if you're Swedish, because he loves Swedes. So please subscribe to Stig Kenobi. Yeah. Nice. And then he said in the chat, like all I saw in the chat was, Walton, you're on my lists.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
You just might end up on a top 5 list next time.
Oh, snap. Oh, a top 5 Walton's best list.
No,
I can see it now.
Not getting a whole list.
not getting
a whole list.
So Forbidden Ruin said, did anyone see the press conference from Friday where McEnany? Oh no, that's our guy. McEnema making the statement that our lawyers are getting death threats. That's going to become a problem when more evidence is revealed. And again, they're allowed to get these death threats, and people are like, well, they support Trump. They should get them. This is what scares me with this country today, is where people have gone so far one way or the other that they don't see the other side as humans anymore. They just see them as opponents. Yeah. They see them as opponents.
You know what, though? If some purple-haired land whale threatens your life, why be afraid? That they're not going to spend energy getting.
You ever have an angry fat bitch barrel themselves at you, Stig?
Yeah, but they don't. If you're more than a kilometer away, they're not coming for you.
Right.
You've had politicians shot at. You've had plots to kidnap them. You've had poison sent to presidents. I mean,
yeah, anthrax, right?
There are just some crazy people.
There are crazy people out there, but they're being whipped up and made to be even more crazy.
That's the problem.
A lot of this, in my opinion, and it was a problem before 2020, don't get me wrong, but a lot of this also has to do with these insane lockdowns that are nonsensical. We went from 15 days to how many months? Almost an entire year. And that was, in my opinion, meant to reinforce that echo chamber. And I believe it did its job, because whether you were a person who agreed with the president, someone who like a passive independent who may agree with what he was doing, or you were someone who didn't, the hyper nasty vitriol going on in social medias all over the place and on the media, I think that affected many people who just wanted it to end. Like, I think there was a lot of people who just bent the knee because I'm tired of hearing this. I want this to end. And so they voted for Biden.
You know what bothers me too, though, Steven, is that in the past,
they're called bitches, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, they are. Yeah. In the past, the government or as a whole or the media would try to sway people away from violence, away from the craziness. In today's society, you have the Speaker of the House at one point saying, when the first riots started popping off, that she didn't understand why people weren't uprising more.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, that is not what this country.
Who was the woman that was in Washington last year saying? I think it was last year, saying if you see a Republican at a restaurant, go bother them. If you see them in a store, go bother them. Like, harass these people. Who was it? It's a black woman, I believe.
Maxine Waters.
Maxine Waters, yeah. Like, I mean, that's where it's at with it. Like, and that's the thing that boggles my mind. Like, I understand. Listen, and one second. Sorry, Jane, I got to preach for a second. Look, guys, if you're listening to this now or later and you voted left, like, I support your right to vote how you want to vote. Right? I'm not trying to shame anybody by saying that my observation is, in the last couple of years, I have watched people like Maxine Waters make those kinds of statements. I've seen a steady trend of acceptance toward violence and harassment and looting and pillaging and all of this stuff that's been going on in the last couple of years. I didn't vote for Donald Trump. I voted against that. And I really don't understand how anyone seeing the same information that I have been seeing, the manipulation on the media, the control over our social media, the acceptance of harassments, the rise of SJWs all over the place, the Antifa, Black Lives Matter, these hate groups, fucking Joe Biden getting up there and saying Antifa's an idea, not a thing. Well, right, when Portland's still on fire. Yes. I just don't understand how anyone of good conscience who proclaims to be fighting that voted left this time. I don't understand it. That doesn't mean that I think you're an evil person. That means I don't understand what you did. And so like that's where I'm at with it. So don't get it twisted. I love you guys. I stand for anyone's right to support, speak, do, and harm none, whatever they wish. I will always be like that, but I'm also going to voice my opinion, and I just don't understand how this was even whether there's any kind of rigging or any kind of mistakes that were made during the counting process. I don't understand how this was even that close, and it kind of disappoints me as to people's awareness about what's going on and their complicity or their validation of it. That's where I'm at. Love y'all. I'm done right now.
And let me just say one thing. If you don't want to believe in voter fraud, just look at one thing. How in certain states did Biden win, but yet the Republican senator in the House won, and it was almost the same exact margin, just reversed. There is something, bro. Well, let me finish.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, no, what I'm saying is, yes, it could easily be that people just voted Biden because, like you said before, they just want it over with, and then they voted their Republican side. I doubt that. But instead of fighting the idea of looking into the election, why wouldn't you want to look into the election to make sure the right person won, that America wanted as their president, even though for hundreds of years they vote in who they want voted in? I'm starting to believe we really don't have control over it.
Listen, I don't believe in a big 13 family theory. I love the whole Illuminati idea, guys. Like, I like that lore, but I look at it as a conspiracy theory. Are there like very, very wealthy people out there who want to control the world like manically and yeah, I totally believe that, but I don't think it's like a cabal or anything crazy like that. What I have seen though, from the evidence that, and I mean, maybe it's because I've been paying a little more attention because I've been writing documentations about this kind of thing, but I have seen this overarching narrative across media, across politicians, different groups that are all fighting to control thought. And that's what I'm fighting against. I'm fighting against, I think we all have the right to our opinions without harassment, shame, doxing, losing our financial viability, our ability to work. Those are the things I'm standing against. And I look at the players that are supporting that, and those players are all screaming the same extremist narrative. And that's what I was making a stand against.
I think part of it, though, when you talk about how the Republican votes fell, you have to go back to and remember that a lot of Republicans did not like Trump. Some of this is a personality thing, regardless.
Well, I
believe that.
Some people just don't like him and voted against him. Not necessarily the principles of our party, because I can remember when he was during our primary, there was discussion about basically sabotaging him the same way Ron Paul was back in 2012. And you had a lot of people, myself included, who were urging our leaders in our party to support the popular candidate because he was not the true, that he wasn't perceived as being the true conservative candidate. So after he won that and won the election, a lot of people got behind him because it was the political right thing to do.
Right.
But when he was perceived as losing this time, you see a lot of those conservative Republicans sort of establishment Republicans peeling away from him. That's why you see more Republicans coming out, because they never liked him to begin with.
I get that.
Right.
But
that's
but the voter, I'm talking about the voter. The voter there is a big difference between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Now, if you had a different Democrat, I can understand Republicans may be voting for that Democrat, but you have Joe freaking Biden and Kamala Harris, the most left Senate, person in Congress there is.
Joe Biden has been one of I really don't understand why he's perceived as being so leftist, other than that he's adopted all their talking points. But
he goes by the wind.
He hasn't been. Exactly. He's just a quintessential politician. And he represents very much the establishment character. And I think that's
for crime bill.
Isn't it weird though that BLM supporters support the guy who wrote the crime bill in the 90s?
Right. But that's what blows my friggin' mind.
But here's the thing. They didn't initially. They supported what was his name? Jesus.
Bernie
Sanders, right. And it just, they're not going to vote for Trump when they perceive him
because
as being
he's letting he's helping black kids get out of jail and get jobs. But whatever, this isn't a political channel.
They're not unaware of the fact that bill that he signed was something that had been opposed by Republicans for years.
Right.
They're not going to pretend that they don't know that, though.
People aren't informed enough. The average American citizen does not take the time, because when you have the right to vote for as long as we have had, people take that. They don't see the beauty in that. They don't see how little around the world people have that right. So they take advantage of it. They just, okay, I'm going to vote for the guy who, freaking the Hulk supports because, Ruffalo's cool.
I just don't get it. No, it's not just that, Scotty. I just two people in my house that both definitely voted left. We haven't talked about it, but and when we were before the election, we were talking about it a little bit, amazingly, and the one answer, I said, well, why don't you like Trump? Was my answer, was my question at one point, and one person said because he's racist and he endorses white supremacy. And I'm like, okay,
you're never going to not believe that.
I swear to God. And I'm like, okay, because he hasn't denounced it in the last 5 minutes. The other answer was, Trump is an R word.
It's
so you know what R word I mean, right?
But he supported.
No,
the
really one that I can't say.
The one I got
Radical?
7 days.
Oh my fucking God!
What?
But if you have somebody
retard,
he likes the McRib.
But if you have people that are willing to believe that kind of heinous misinformation,
right?
Yeah, there was hundreds and hundreds of thousands. Like, I don't consider these. Well, one of them's kind of has they them in their bio, which is just insane to me. But the other one's smart. The other person's smart, and I'm just like, I don't understand. How do you believe
you have to combine it too, though? As far as I can't speak to general population, but a lot of people were surprised that so many Black people voted for Biden with his history. But you have to also understand, a lot of them voted for him not because they support him, but because they thought that white people would. That's why he got so much support. It wasn't just because they couldn't stand Biden. They know his history. They know the things he said about segregation and whatnot. Right. But they don't like Trump more, and they figured he was the safer bet. Because
didn't Trump get more Black vote than any other Republican?
No, I think a lot around.
He did get more. But because that's one of the things I liked about Trump. When he came into office, he was in a position to really swing our party into a position that made the Black vote competitive. But it just didn't. He did make some mistakes, and
he wasn't a great orator. He talked. He didn't know how to talk. to look. We were used to establishment politicians who say the same shit talking points, and once we had somebody who was a real deal in there, whether he communicated that well or not, I think he's a real deal kind of person. He's just going to tell you how he feels, and I don't think people knew how to respond to that. They were scared of it.
He was, but it's just I feel like he really missed some opportunities.
Yeah,
to get more support from the Black community, because that's the community in many ways he came from. I mean, people forget that this guy was around Black people all the time. He was in the entertainment industry, but all of his friends were people who Black people saw as like either leaders in the community or favorite entertainers, athletes.
He
that's
funded the Reverend Jesse Jackson's bid for presidency. He funded it. He's the R word.
But it goes for his crew. Like all of these people were who he hung out with, and they turned on him as soon as he declared he was going to be a Republican.
It just goes to show you how much it matters in that kind of a spotlight to speak eloquently as possible, which was something he didn't have. That was his flaw. That was his flaw, and pride and not backing down. I think maybe he was a little too stringent on compromise, on being uncompromising. Well, just a little bit.
If you think about it, though, Biden doesn't speak eloquently. He just goes Finnegan.
Right?
Yeah. Huh? What? You're not Black if you don't like, huh?
Yeah, culture tried
to in the corner. What?
Culture tried to play that clip of you making fun of Biden, which was really good, and screwed up like 3 times yesterday on Jayne's channel. Shout out to Culture.
Did he really?
Yeah,
that's a great.
I didn't even recognize it.
Yeah, well, it was way back when we first started.
Okay.
When he was like squirrel, bird, dog.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, Biden of all people.
But yeah, I don't know. You were talking about understanding why people vote the way they do. We need term limits in Congress.
Yes.
That's at the end of the day, because people like Maxine, and the others who've been in there forever, they come out and they act like they're so anti the other side. They're so against them. The other side is evil. They're terrible. They're trying to destroy America. And yet they hang out together. And when it comes to things they want to vote together on, they do it consistently. But then they come to us as if they're so at odds with one another.
Yeah, well, they're disingenuous. Right. Well, what they have always known, and what we've seen a lot of in the last 10 years, is that if you can trigger the population's base emotions, you get a strong reaction, and that is what we had. And that's what they play on. This is why I don't like establishment politicians. I really don't. I don't trust them. They're not real people to me because of some of the points that Jayne just made. And that was one of the attracting factors to my support of the president. So I mean, it's just, we're going to get the same old thing in the next 4 years. People who think that it's going to calm down, it's going to get worse, because if it looks like Biden's going to be inaugurated, and if he is, they're emboldened. We're going to get more of this crap. And I feel bad. I wanted to see a stand be made in this country over the next 4 years with a lame duck presidency who, with that attitude of no children, this is the way we're getting things done, and then get them done, and then see who the next round of candidates would be.
Nothing was going to get done. It was never going to be anything getting done because you have a split Congress.
Right. Exactly.
Damn it, Jayne. Stop being so smart.
All right. Let's see. Do we want to finish this article?
What were we talking about? We went off
sometimes because someone knows more than me. Yeah.
Don't be upset. Don't be scared.
Okay, we'll just start here. There was a heavy social media reaction with some fans calling for her to be let go from The Mandalorian. The responses were mostly the isolated ones. All right, we read that. Carano received more social media backlash days later when she posted a meme that mocked people who wore face masks. She posted the meme on her Twitter account. Fans immediately took off, prompting the tag.
Mocking. That's just what's so stupid.
Where's the tweet? Let me see.
Democratic governor leaders now recommends we all wear blindfolds along with masks so we can see what really is going on.
And that's not mocking people for wearing masks. That's mocking politicians, maybe.
No.
But it's not mocking people.
It's blindly leading, is what they're saying. Blindly following.
Colin.
But it's being critical.
Well, Colin CW30.
Open.
Right. It's not about mask wearing. It's about making fun of politicians. Colin CW30 on Twitter. Wow. Gina, this is extremely irresponsible. If you are referring to the election, there is no proof of any fraud. Oh, Madon. If at referring to mask wearing, we should be doing that. And if we all did, we would be able to go outside.
Oh my God.
What are you locked up in your freaking house?
That's not right. If you're doing this, if you're doing that, they're just assuming all of it.
People like this nut job are all over my Facebook right now. All over. Because I've been left for most of my life. So I've got a lot of leftist friends who are all echoing things just like that. The most insane people that I considered that I can at some point in my life, or that I was friends with, I consider intelligent people, smart people, common sense people, are just falling in love with this fear porn, and they staunchly defend their fear porn. And all I'm saying is, guys, just take a look at the numbers, take a look at what's happened. We have almost a year's worth of history of what has been happening, how things have been happening. And if you're telling me there's like a new outbreak going on right now, then that means the lockdowns and those masks don't work. That's what that means.
Nope.
But they're staunchly defending them. And I don't understand suffocating small businesses to fit your narrative. Stopping people like myself from being able to work, people in construction, people in technology from being able to work because you need to fit a narrative. Nobody's getting it because it's all political to them.
They're not talking about Florida anymore because Florida opened up and their numbers are just the same as all the other states that are locked down. It doesn't matter what you do. People are going to get a virus because viruses don't stop because you're wearing a homemade T-shirt you turned into a freaking chin diaper. Okay?
What they need to do,
it's not going to happen.
What they need to do is go back to what happened 100 years ago, see what worked, what didn't, and then use that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like this is the first time this happened.
The top 5 shirt I made actually, the top 5 shirt that I made actually protects against COVID.
That's awesome. You hear that, guys? You hear that? Please get a top 5 COVID shirt.
That's great.
But subscribe first.
All right, let's finish this article so we can move on to the next. The Mandalorian just gave her an exit. We don't know how the rest of the second season is going to shape up, but the most recent episode, titled The Siege, can I just ask, do they know what a siege is? Because that was not a siege. Gave Carano's character, Cara Dune, an exit if she or Disney wants the actress to leave the show due to backlash. The episode shows New Republic officers responding to an incident caused in the episode. One of the officers asked Dune if she ever considered joining the New Republic, referencing her history as a soldier and her time on Alderaan. She dismisses him and says she doesn't want to join the fight. It's one of those foreshadowing moments that hints at Dune making some sort of move in the future. She's left with the New Republic medal, which she stares at with a longing eye. This is a deep hint that Dune may join the New Republic down the road. Again, we don't know if Cara wants to leave the show or if the Mandalorian showrunners want her to exit. But the recent episode set up the potential. Yeah, go ahead.
This episode was written and filmed long before Gina Carano, got attacked on Twitter.
Yes,
exactly.
So they're just assuming that, they just set this up now.
Right.
Which means whoever's writing the article is retarded.
Yes, Stig.
Oh,
Yes.
And they're
Now,
ignoring that
let me-
give her a bigger role.
No, go ahead.
They're ignoring the fact that this could actually open the door for her to have her own show, a more important role in the series. I mean, there are different ways they can go with it.
It opened up. It was another backdoor pilot opening it up for her. Now, you can say they might decide not on giving her a pilot, but I'm sorry. There are people in Twitter world and social media world that are hashtag, fire Gina Carano, but there are also many, many, many people saying I stand with Gina Carano in her right to believe what she believes, and she makes that dumb show at least watchable when she's on it because she kicks ass.
What does Gina have to do with a gay aviator?
What?
A what?
A backdoor pilot.
Oh.
Huh?
A gay aviator?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A gayviator, yeah.
Leonardo? What?
I don't get it. Okay. You said backdoor pilot. Maybe I went somewhere.
Yes. No. I think you're going the wrong route because that's
Even
what
in
you
that
always
line.
go to. You sick son of a gun. We're going to move on, though. This was a great topic for over an hour. Let us share the next one, and it is Star Wars, my friend. Back to Star Wars. And it is Star Wars, Why Shadows of the Empire isn't part of Disney canon.
Because it's good.
And that's why Stig is really here, because he wants to talk about this great article. Once it loads. Yeah, Disney is stupid. Very
Disney
stupid.
Star Wars is butt
the first sentence says Shadow of the Empire is one of the most. It's a backdoor pilot.
The first sentence
in your term,
is the first sentence is why you already know that whoever wrote the article doesn't know what he's talking about. The reason why it's not part of Disney canon is because in 2015 Disney made an official statement saying that they got rid of everything EU with the exception of the Clone Wars because the EU was convoluted. There you go. They're 5 years behind.
Well, yeah, they're behind each other.
Now, before we get into this article,
Stig,
before we get into they are. Before we get into the article, explain just briefly Shadows of the Empire.
Shadows of the Empire was a George Lucas.
What is the story? Yeah.
He was about to explain it, and then you were started talking over him. Can you get the man speak?
Shadows of the Empire is a George Lucas approved multimedia project from the mid-90s. It's a novel, a soundtrack CD, a video game, and a graphic novel. It's the story about what happens between episode 5 and 6. You have Lando, Luke, and Leia searching for Han. You have bounty hunters chasing Boba Fett because Boba Fett has Han Solo. And the other ones want the bounty for themselves, right? And there's the story about Dash Rendar, and there's a political struggle as well between Prince Xizor, who is a crime boss, and
characters,
and Darth Vader.
Which was great. Is this the one where the Emperor basically pits Vader and Xizor up?
Yep.
That's
okay. It starts off actually with Vader training with the lightsaber, fighting some robots.
Yes, I remember this book. Yes.
Yeah, and he is injured in the shoulder because of Empire Strikes Back, because Luke strikes him there. So it fits completely perfectly between episode 5 and 6.
It does. This is a great book, guys. If you've not picked this up, read it. It is a really good Star Wars book.
And George Lucas put Prince Xizor in episode 1 as a cameo because the character was alive back then, and he's at the arena at the pod race. He put Dash Rendar's ship in the special edition Star Wars movies in episode 4. Droids from these stories are in episode 4. Part of the soundtrack is in episode 3 at the beginning with the the battle at the beginning of episode 3. Lucas approved of this, and official Lucasfilm statements from the mid 2000s say, yeah, the EU is canon. That's the official statement. So Disney actually, in this case, got rid of something that was referenced in many of the movies. And who did that? George did. The man who approved the whole thing.
Wow.
So this is a dumbass move by Disney. And Screen Rant, known for being dumbasses too, are writing an article about nothing. And already in the first sentence, they don't know what they're talking about.
Dig that. Oh, Angelus, if you like Shizor and some of the characters from around that time of the EU, check out, if you play PC is a master race. If you play PC gaming, Empire at War, dude. It's got all kinds of expanded universe characters in there. Mara Jade, different bounty hunters, Shizor's in there, Thrawn, the good Thrawn, not the neutered one.
Yeah.
Great game.
On GOG, it's going to be on sale for Black Friday because they always have Star Wars sales.
Nice.
And you can also get the Shadows of the Empire game on GOG. Works like a charm.
There's a Shadows of the Empire game?
Yeah. You play...
but
basically, this project, you have the novel, right, at the center.
Yeah.
And in the novel, Dash Rendar shows up now and again. The video game tells his story.
Dude, I'm going to pick that up. Oh, that's awesome, Stig. Thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And the graphic novel tells more of the Boba Fett side of the story as well. So all together, and you get one big little cake of Star Wars.
I'd say, yeah, LucasArts is better than Disney Star Wars, hands down.
Oh, yeah. And they tried, they did the same kind of project in 2007 with The Force Unleashed, because that one got a novel and a graphic novel as well as the game. So they've done it twice.
Oh, snap. Who knew? Thank you, brother, because Scott's not, he's like 10 seconds behind us. He'll say thank you in a minute. Oh, there he is. There he is.
No, I'm here. I was letting my guests speak and talk of knowledgeable things I don't know a lot about. And by that same, making a bacon avocado wrap at the same freaking time. God.
Ew.
Angelus Draven in the chat says it's for Nintendo 64. Well, yes, it's also for PC, and the GOG sells the PC version. So, and it's already emulated when you buy it there, so it works on Windows 10 and all that.
Did you show your white supremacy or superiority by putting mayonnaise on the wrap?
That's disgusting. Well, it's not actually.
Well, I don't know. According to that video, that's what we're good at. I don't know, mayonnaise.
I'm dipping a little ranch.
Scott is Italian too, so that kind of changes.
Thank you, Jayne. 50% Italian. What? Who knew? The salt must flow. Became a channel member. Thank you, my friend. I don't know, because it happens to me a lot. I sometimes my bank account does not have the money, so I don't become a channel member, and then I become one again. If that happened to you, it's normal, my friend. All of us go through that. Or if you moved up, I appreciate anything you guys offer. So thank you so much. Yeah, same here, brother. It happened with me and Drunk 3PO. It got suspended for like 2 days. I didn't know why. So
for the R word?
Worries. Yeah,
for the R word.
Yes. Yes. His account got suspended for like a week.
You can't say tards. That's crazy.
No, you can't say it. That's why I'm getting nervous.
That happened to me too. I called an article retarded, and I got 7 days in the slammer with my old account.
Well, was it a slow article?
Oh, it was.
If it was a slow article, you were using the term as.
Yeah, it was.
Well, I mean,
it actually might have been
has a real. Yeah, well, they usually are. Okay, so if you guys don't see me for 7 days, we all know why now. All right. So Star Wars, why Shadows of the Empire isn't part of the Disney canon. Shadows of the Empire is one of the most popular Star Wars stories outside the movies, but there's a few reasons why it will never be Disney canon. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, going back to 2015, and they know why.
Right. Shadows of the Empire is one of the most beloved stories in the Star Wars expanded universe, but was still excluded from canon in the post-Disney universe.
No, it wasn't.
You tell them.
That there's a lie. I have an official statement from Lucasfilm. where they say everything that isn't the the infinite stories, which are what if stories, everything not that is canon. That's official straight from Lucasfilm. And I can send you the picture if you want to.
So what you're saying is this person has no clue what the hell they're talking about, and
the
we're
person
reading
is
an article.
lying.
Okay. Well, in 1996, Lucasfilm released one of the most important stories in the old expanded universe. Shadows of the Empire was a multimedia initiative that feels like a spiritual ancestor of the upcoming High Republic project. Oh my God, they're trying to tie that in. Spiritual ancestor. Like,
Bullshit.
even though this stupid High Republic comes way before it, it's a spiritual ancestor. I understand they mean in the creation of it, but come on. The main narrative was told in the...
How that
No, go ahead.
Applicable. That's absolute nonsense. This is... Oh, God.
It's nonsense.
It's just an attempt to try to add some validity to this new foolishness that they're coming up with.
They're shilling and they're lying.
Well, that's why I'm reading it, because it's bull. It's bull caca. The main narrative was told in the form of a novel, a comic book series, even a video game, and even had its own popular soundtrack. Literally, the only Star Wars medium it lacked at the time was a movie. Set between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, this told the story of how Luke Skywalker constructed his own lightsaber and became a true Jedi, even as Leia scorched the galaxy for her beloved Han Solo. Or scoured. Leia's quest brought her to Black Sun, a criminal empire that rivaled the Hutts, and whose leader, Prince... Oh, God. Exor...
No, read it. Come on, read it.
Exor competed with Darth Vader for the... what is it?
Shizor, man.
Shizor. Where'd he get the sh? There's no sh.
In his language, there is. And you know what? And his chair didn't work. It used to. What was it? His chair that kept messing up. It was one of his computers that kept messing up. It would like mess up.
Sporking? There's a picture in your DM.
Okay.
Is it
I can't go
it's not a
to
dick
DM.
pic, is it?
It's
send Steven the DM. Send him the DM. Slide into Steven's because he can share it. I won't be able to.
Yeah, it basically debunks the whole damn article.
Well, we will get to that too. Shizor competed with Darth Vader for the Emperor's favor. The story is fondly remembered for introduced a popular character named Dash Rendar, essentially a Han Solo surrogate, given Han was frozen in carbonite during this period. Wow, this is a long freaking article.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Shadows of the Empire was easily Lucasfilm's biggest media. Yeah, we're jumping. Let's just find out where they're telling us it's bull.
The whole article is bull.
Zonthron. Yeah,
picture
I'm with
in your
you.
inbox, Steven.
Perry's story embraces zeitgeist of the 90s, capturing the grim and gritty realism that was in vogue at the time. The setting was ideal for such a time because the tale was set in a period where the rebellion was on the back foot and the flickering candle of hope had almost died. Perry's love for Star Wars shone through as he wove in classic moments alluded to by George Lucas but not shown in the movies. Readers got to enjoy the moment Luke Skywalker constructed his lightsaber and learned of the sacrifice made by Bothan spies who had learned of the second Death Star.
Oh my God. Sorry.
Wow. Are you being one of these purist dickheads that's like, oh my God, you didn't pronounce it right. Mr. Who can't pronounce shit right when he reads a goddamn Game of Thrones article, but attacks me because look at me, I'm Star Wars. Look at me, I'm the author, and I know my Star Wars. Go suck on a fucking log. The story remains popular to this day, but it is not without its problems. Like Stephen Walton, not without his problems. Say that again, Stick.
There's no problems in it. It fits perfectly between the movies.
Well, they're going to tell us why not. When Disney acquired Lucasfilm back in 2012, they faced a difficult decision as regarding the old expanded universe. There was a sense in which the expanded universe had become a victim of its own success because it had expanded too far, and it was now impossible for new fans to easily navigate it, making matters worse, the expanded universe had explored the entire timeline of the galaxy from before the founding of the Republic to 100 years after Return of the Jedi. Lucasfilm as execs.
So
yes,
you're
go ahead.
saying it
Also
was
not true.
thorough.
There's 2,000 years, I think, unexplored between the Knights of the Old Republic story and Episode 1.
I just don't know how having a rich world that you can explore in many different directions is a bad thing.
I don't know. I don't know. When you look at that's like saying anything George R. Martin made before Dunk and Egg is no longer canon.
Yeah.
Right.
Like ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Like he's gone too far.
Like you said,
so many stories.
Right. We can't tell a story. Right.
How dare there be multiple books to read? My God.
Ironcast wants Steven to know it's Shizor. You're welcome, Steven. Yeah, so the way I look at it is, he's probably smoking his cigarette, if you know what I mean. What I think of is wouldn't it make it a richer, more involved history if they explained to 100 years after Return of the Jedi, then why didn't you do year 101?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, why didn't you do year 101?
Yeah.
It makes no sense. Let's see.
I don't get the whole idea of saying it's too difficult for new fans to navigate because all you have to do is go one book at a time.
Yeah, just pick your favorite time period and read.
Right.
It's not.
What do we got here, Stig?
Yeah. Official statement from Sue Rostoni, Lucasfilm Books and licensing managing editor at StarWars.com. She says basically everything except those items marked with an infinity logo, which is a Star Wars Tales comics, blah, 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 is considered canon. So everything that isn't the what if stories, they released some stories, comics where they did different takes on the old trilogy where Luke died right away. So what would happen if Luke had died, right?
Dude.
Right.
God, when you have a minute, I have to show you something. When you have a minute.
So every time anyone says, the EU wasn't canon, show them this because this proves they're idiots.
It sounds like it. And I understand that Lucasfilm bought the rights, Disney bought the rights, but I think one of the dumbest things you could do is take something that's pre-existing just because you bought it and say we're wiping the slate clean.
Right.
Yeah.
Like right there, you alienate so many fans and they just didn't care.
Yeah. And then they're dumb enough to say, oh, sorry, we don't have source material.
Right.
Right.
Right. It's not like we have big books and stuff like that. Isn't that what she said?
Yeah. And, Rogue One, which was, their most popular movie, is a ripoff. I mean, in the old EU, you had Kyle Katarn and Jan Ors steal the Death Star plans. They got rid of Kyle Katarn, renamed Jan Ors Jyn Erso. Nobody notices that, right? And changed her from being Asian to white. So basically, they whitewashed an Asian and renamed her.
Snap.
And they even have the same damn robot.
Wow.
But that's the thing with all of their stuff. It's like a bastardized version of EU stories. It's just It's not creative. It's not new. It would be different if it weren't actually new, but it's not.
Yeah. And
Stig, let me ask you this question real quick, and then go on to what you're going to say. Would Han and Leia ever name their son Ben?
No.
Luke did.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. There's no reason behind it. Right.
Yeah. And Leia only saw a glimpse of him.
How did that conversation even go, though? You have to wonder when they were creating these characters, like in the writing room.
Yeah.
No one asked the question, well, where would that name come from?
Because the people who wrote it had no clue. I mean, the guy who wrote the script for episode 9, he was being interviewed on video, and next to him is the old Thrawn trilogy, the book where there's a hidden Imperial fleet. Sound familiar?
Wow.
Yeah, it's right next to him. You could see it. It's next to his arm by the computer where he's writing the script.
That's amazing. It's such a ripoff. Like, we're going to say none of this is real anymore. None of this is canon, but we're going to, like Jayne said, bastardize it.
Yeah, the Mandalorian episode with the Great Dragon.
Yeah.
That whole scene where they're placing explosives and using a bantha.
Video game.
Yeah, it's straight from the Old Republic video game. They just copied it.
Unbelievable. Steven, what are you going to play here?
All right, guys. So there are people in Rogue Entertainment, Culture Casino, and the Red Gaze who are putting together new intros for us. Red Gaze just sent me the TR4, the one I want to use TR4. Culture Casino is going to be the one that we're going to use for Rogue Entertainment on Saturdays. So, check this out, man. This is by the Red Gaze. He does a lot of work in Comicsgate. He does commercials for people in Comicsgate.
Cool. Can I show you, Steven, my new opening for just like regular videos that the Great Culture Casino made me? But before I do that, I love seeing Kitty Bear in my chat. I haven't seen Kitty Bear in my chat in so long. That is awesome. Yes, he had said something prior to this that was awesome. It must have jumped on me. Here it is. It's what Disney does. They bastardize every story, even the ones they are famous for. And he's right. All their stories, look at, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Cinderella, they're all ripoffs of folk tales and fairy tales. Like, he's absolutely right. It's unbelievable.
I guess we shouldn't.
But here, no, we shouldn't. But it's still sad. Here it is, Steven. This is my new opening for regular videos, non-dump shows, and all that good stuff. And I freaking love it. You got to read the very last one. Other big words is my favorite part. That was awesome. I only saw
Yeah.
2 seconds of it, but it's awesome. I love that. Did it run all right for you guys?
Yeah,
okay.
that's fine. Yeah.
Yes, people, Rogue Entertainment, the fourth wave, we are moving on friggin' up. So please support. Yeah.
I sent another picture to Steven. It's relevant to the conversation.
Okay, cool. I know. Let me read a little bit more of this one and just see what they're trying to say, even though I've already read it. I want to make sure people understand what Screen Rant is trying to say here. So Lucasfilm execs, they swiftly blah, blah, blah. They decided to jettison it from continuity to discount it as legends. Over the years, they would draw upon the best elements of it, with the most notable example being Grand Admiral Thrawn. But they have carefully avoided drawing entire stories back into canon because they suck. They did not write that.
Rogue
that was
One.
my own.
Rogue One.
Right.
That's the
there you go.
Story.
Right.
Which,
the core problem. Go ahead.
I sent that stuff to Stephen Walton.
Nice. Yeah. The core problem is that not one part of the expanding universe really stands in isolation. Every tale exists in its context, and you cannot incorporate it back into canon without unwillingly restoring elements you would rather leave alone. That's even the case with Shadows of the Empire, with Steve Perry.
Also bullshit. You can easily do Shadows of the Empire in the new canon. It doesn't matter. It's just the events between episode 5 and 6. That's it.
That's it.
Right. There's clearly continuity. Oh, I'm sorry.
And there's probably 20 probably 20 other novels that are standalones like that. And there's tons of comics that they could have used even in Disney canon.
Right. So what they're trying to support this idea that this is the reason why Lucasfilm has the right to just pick out of these great novels and great comics and stuff like that, and that is the BS with it.
They own it, so they can do that. But I think it was Ryan who did a video that a lot of sites like this have been steadily making articles to discredit the old EU. And it's been happening ever since they announced the High Republic crap. So they're basically trying to make people not like the EU, and then so they will go for the High Republic stuff.
And listen to where they go with it, Stig. This is how they defend not using Shadows of the Empire. Its treatment of Princess Leia. The dynamic between Leia and Shizor was never supposed to be an innocent one. With the Faline Prince using his pheromones to arouse Leia, so she can only be compared to an animal should be in heat. But society has progressed since the 90s. Yeah, it's progressed backwards, people. And now this twisted relationship feels disturbingly familiar, akin to the powerful men who have been exposed by the Me Too movement. Oh my God. Shizor is essentially a sexual predator. Go ahead.
Yep. Well, this is true. He is. And guess what? He's a villain. He's he's a gangster and a crime lord. And
I guess you're not mature enough. We're not mature enough to understand that, Stig.
Everything has to be sanitized.
Actually, if you think about it, he's using pheromones to on Leia, which makes him guilty of toxin masculinity.
I caught that funny. That was great. But to even compare it to the Me Too movement, which ruined some guys' lives that did nothing wrong and did definitely take down some scumbags, don't get me wrong, but went after like Chris Hartnell or Chris whatever, the guy from the Talking Dead, who did nothing wrong and almost ruined his career. You know?
The fans backed him. The fans held
and
the line.
How is
yes.
How is what Kylo does to Rey not a Me Too thing?
He mentally,
he straps her to a chair and then mind rapes her. Basically.
Mind rapes her, exactly.
Yeah, that's okay. Apparently. because Disney did it.
Jedi mind tricks are okay.
Yeah. I mean, he abuses her throughout the whole thing, but at the very end, let's kiss, and then I'm gonna die. So it was all worth it. It was all worth it. It's unbelievable what people will confuse or allow to happen because they like the story. So the same people that would hate this story and say it's a Me Too movement thing are the same Raylos that defend the sequel series because, he was really Ben Solo at the end. Like,
well, he wasn't given a redemptive arc.
Not at all.
What's missing. I am one of those people who would have liked the two of them together. I actually would prefer them to have been siblings, but whatever. If you're going to have them be a couple, I would have been fine with that if they had wrapped the story around it and created a foundation for it.
Right?
Yeah.
What? I'm sorry. Where did we go with that? No, but you're right. They could have had a romantic relationship. Yeah. There could have been the redemption of Kylo Ren with the help of her, but they never flushed anything out in these sequels. It was all, I'm going to do my story now. Now the Last Jedi is going to do their story, and now the Rise of Skywalker is an FU to them. So let's do our story. It was a mishpat mashup shit show. That's what it was.
Yep.
I'll never be able to say that again. But let me finish this little paragraph. Shizor is essentially a sexual predator whose power strips women of their abilities to consent, and consequentially, his conquests are little more than a twisted action of a rapist. But that's okay. Even if that's true, though, Stig, even if that's true, it's still a good story premise.
Yeah, but this is not what he does. He uses these pheromones and basically makes women horny. Which means they do consent.
Right.
He doesn't.
Right. Well, it's like
if you
ever seen the show Stig? Right. Have you ever seen the show The Almighty Johnsons?
Yeah,
it's a New Zealand show. I freaking love it. It's about this family line of brothers that came from Norway, and they're actually the reincarnations of the Viking gods, but they're not fully gods. They're human embodiment, and they have to release the gods. Anyways, one of the brothers is the god of love, and he uses his whisper technique to make women feel they let go of their inhibitions, and they do things they most likely wouldn't have done. Today's age, if that show came out now, he'd be considered a rapist.
But what's so crazy about
it's consent.
In the show, it was acknowledged that wasn't a good thing to do in a relationship.
Right.
So, but you don't eliminate stories like that just because they're not good in this good people, or they're not doing something good. I mean, what kind of stories are left if there are no villains?
You got to Tom Sawyer it.
Mistakes?
Come on, Jayne, Tom Sawyer that. Whitewash it. Get the fence. Whitewash it. You can't wash it. Come on. No Huck Finn here.
They wanted to cancel a Star Wars comic too because Vader killed a woman in it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Vader, the villain, killed a woman.
Let's see what some people are saying because I haven't been keeping an eye on the chat. Ironcaster says, let's see, it would have made more sense for Leia and Han to name their son after Bail Organa or some other mentor figure to Han. Yeah. I'm with you on that. Kitty Bear says yes, but in the game, it's made sense to place bombs on the ground the dragon walked. The worm can go under the bombs. It's like burying a mole alive in a carton box because it wrecked your lawn.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a little back there, but he's right. He's absolutely right. Eastland Burkholder.
Yeah, and then the Mandalorian goes, the sheriff says, blow it up. And the Mandalorian goes, no, it needs to come closer. We only have one shot. And then a minute later, there's 50 more bombs on the other bantha behind them. So you only had one shot. No, you didn't. There's 50 more right behind you.
Unbelievable. I don't know why it's not. Is it adding it? Okay, there we go. Eastland Burkholder, but there should be a narrative thread between the cool looking scenes. They have left that part out. They've done a lot of that. Let's see. Let's move down a little bit. Magus.
It's always beautiful. It's just a terrible story. If that's
right.
what they're talking about. They know how to put something on screen that looks like a work of art. They just can't write.
Right. First rule, don't zoom into KK's lady parts. That is definitely the first rule of Fight Club. The Time Prophet says this isn't the Force binary, LOL. Accidental Taurus, you can almost hear Obi-Wan saying, before the dark times, before the Empire. Oh, man. That is cool. Hey, Keely Chow, good to see you. That is awesome. I haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for being here. Jack D up in the house. Great new intro, Scott. Thank you, my friend. Back to Kitty Bear. Kitty Bear says, at this point, all I want is Disney to burn to the ground. I agree with that. Sorry I wasn't keeping up, guys. Let's see. Roof Korean says, but progressively mentality say always forward. Yeah, always forward my ass. They got mad because Boba Fett did the same thing to another woman. So yes, there are going to be stories of men doing horrible things. I mean, these people are. Jayne, let me ask, and Stig, let me ask you this question. With the climate we live in today, when George R.R. Martin comes out with The Winds of Winter, will people attack him for the treatment of women, the treatment of gay characters at times, just the treatment of people in general? Because they will use it as a lightning rod, because he treats, there are powerful women in the story, but women also are used as currency. They are raped, they're hurt, they're this, they're that. In this climate, are they going to go after him?
I think some of them have. I mean, we've seen some of this foolishness because you can't tell those stories. I don't know why.
Right.
It used to be that you would tell the worst stories because people would learn from them, right?
Yeah.
They tell a message. Now it's like you can't even show it. Don't talk about bad relationships. God forbid. I mean, that's
God forbid, right? Oh my God.
If you think about it, though, they're upset because women die because villains kill them in a franchise that has war in the title.
Right. What do you think happens in war? In the real
isn't
world?
It called? Isn't the old saying "war is hell"?
Yeah.
If anything, not enough women are being killed because that's what actually happened.
Yeah. Kill all of them.
You should be getting killed left and right.
Well, Anakin killed the younglings.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what happens. That was realistic.
Yeah. The guy who killed younglings killed a woman, and they're upset about the woman of the younglings.
Not true.
Right. Unbelievable. All right. Let's finish what we have here real quick. This is even more disturbing given Leia is the target of his affection, the one who is stripped of her confidence and strength of will by Shizor's pheromones. Leia is a feminist icon, a woman strong enough to resist imperial torture and confident enough to take charge of her own rescue attempt. While it is true even George Lucas had Leia don in a slave bikini in Return of the Jedi, every young boy's wet dream, it's important to remember even this was turned upside down, with Leia choking Jabba with the chain he had used to bind her. And that was the point. Unfortunately, there is no such strength in Shadow of the Empire because Shizor's pheromones literally wipe it away. Leia deserves better than this.
Leia knocks out a female cyborg in Shadows of the Empire. That has that character is probably 3 times as strong as a normal guy, and Leia knocks her out.
But even if
they skip that bit.
But even if that wasn't the case, I don't understand why they have this issue with the whole damsel in distress narrative. For some women, that is their experience. Not everybody wants to be the author of their own rescue or whatever. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes people need help, and that's okay.
Yeah,
I need to be rescued.
And the you know, the whining they do about Leia not resisting the pheromones. The pheromones is a drug. It's a toxin. So her not being able to resist it. Well, she resisted it at first, you know, but that's the same as having Leia
being Mickey'd.
Working
yeah. But by their logic, she should have resisted the stun blast in episode 4 as well.
Right.
Same thing.
Oh my god,
she can
unbelievable.
Lose sometimes people lose,
and even if she loses in a terrible way like that, Jayne, what a great story after the effect. Like, what does she do to get through it, and how does she become stronger on the other side? You know, like, they don't think about that. They think about, once again, Tom Sawyer and the hell out of it.
Yeah,
that's going to be my new term. What are we looking at here?
Dark Horses. One. Can you spot the similarities?
Oh my god!
The chick, the Asian one above Jyn Erso, is named Jan Orris. She's even dressed the damn same. Yeah. Same glasses.
So they whitewashed it. They Tom Sawyered it.
Yeah, and then they call the fans racist for not liking Rose Tico. Yet they're the one that whitewashes Asians.
Right.
Oh my god. And don't get me wrong, Felicity, what's her name?
Shagwell?
Yeah, definitely. Smoke show.
I don't know, man. Them
I love
kind of big. She pretty, but she got some big teeth.
Oh, she could. Yeah, I won't say anything. I think she's very pretty.
She's pretty.
Other than the teeth, she reminds me of my wife. Other than the teeth, my wife has better teeth than her. But she is a smoke show.
No, they're healthy teeth, but they're like extra healthy. They're really big. That's
yeah. You know what she could do with those teeth, my friend.
Yeah, I wouldn't. That's why I wouldn't.
No, and
you're not into that? Oh, you're
no,
too.
No. I spray some anti-cheese or spray at her ass.
You don't like biting?
No, not well. When I think about a mouth, well, you know, I'm not thinking. Jayne,
I'm shocked Steven let you get away with saying that, Jayne, and not responding to that.
I'm sure that Jayne's capable of handling herself in that area. I'm not commenting on that. I'm just, the teeth scare me a little bit. Just
okay.
Just saying.
All right. We do have one more article. You guys got time?
Sure, why not?
It's Sunday afternoon, my friends.
I'm not doing anything.
All right, let it load for a minute, and I'll.
Actually, you know why I got up early, and I would not. I got up early for my son. My son, who's a football player, who's going to the playoffs.
Yeah, baby.
But the season was limited because of the pandemic. But he's going to the playoffs. He got sick during the week of tryouts. He started going to the tryouts, and then he got sick. Not the coof, just a regular cold. And then when he went back, they said that he couldn't. He hadn't spent enough time at the tryouts to get on the proper team, the tackle team. So my son, I didn't know this until I talked to the coach. My son decided to go on the team that's got people who normally can't get on the tackle team. So he's playing with like special needs people. He's playing with girls are on his team. Like, it's flag football, right? And it's an actual thing. They have their own league in the area, and I was really proud of him. He didn't tell me that. He was just like, "Dad, I made it on the team." Like, he didn't, and he wasn't ashamed of it or nothing, but he also wasn't boastful. So I thought that was really cool. So my son had the chance to date either a cheerleader or a geeky black chick, and he decided. He asked me.
He's your son, isn't he?
He said, "What do I want to?" Well, no. He asked me. He says, "Who do I go with?" Because he had options. I said, "Well, it's good that you got options." I said, "But what you got to look at who do you have the most in common with?" And he said, "The geek." And I was like, "Right, yeah, you're my son." I said, "So look, you can either date the cheerleader, you can either date the trophy, or you can date somebody with substance." And he decided to go out into the mall today for the first time with this girl, and I went and picked her up and met her mom, and very nice girl. And it was so.
Did you try to sleep with her mom?
It was so sweet, huh? Dude,
I'm sorry, what?
I'm not going there yet.
Sorry.
God, you know,
Sorry.
like, geez.
Sorry.
So,
yeah, he said you caught that too, Jayne.
No, I was really proud of him, you know, because
No,
I don't want to.
that is nice.
Yeah, so
Hey,
my advice would have been date them all. Date them all.
no,
Yeah,
I'm not
only
doing that
one
because
once.
I was a date them all, and I had a kid before I was 18, so I'm not teaching him those
That
things.
doesn't mean sleep
we're
with
not-
them all.
Yeah,
Yes, it
and
does.
be a moron and not use a condom.
Yes,
That's
it
not
does.
what we're saying.
No, it doesn't.
Confirmed.
Oh,
Author
Baby, I
Stephen
like it
Walton
raw.
is
All right?
anti-T.
There's some traditions you need to keep, and so.
Oh Lord.
So yeah, don't. No, when it comes to giving advice to my kid, I don't want them going down them roads. So I don't want to go down the same paths that I went down. And I put a lot of emphasis on physical love when I was younger. And so I'm glad that he went with the person he had the most in common with, who seemed smart. I think, she seemed too funny. Actually, she kind of joked around. She had your way of speaking, Jayne, like your playful way of talking to somebody, which I really liked. I was like, okay, cool. It reminded me of you. And I think you're one of my best friends. And so, it was just cute. It was adorable, to
That's
see him.
sweet.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's nice.
Steven?
And I'm proud of him. At least,
Me too.
he's going out there and hitting whatever he needs to hit.
He's not hitting anything. Oh my God. I'm trying to keep
Oh,
away
right. It's
from
flag
Right.
football. I was talking about football. God, Steven, it's flag football. I forgot. God,
Hey,
your mind.
Steven?
Get it out of the
Yes,
gutter.
yes, Stig. Yes, please. Yes.
Can you share the next two pictures I sent you?
Oh, sure, brother.
Last two.
So real
The-
quick, the Real
Yeah.
Review 3000 is here. Disney continues to take liberties with the EU. If they want to use it, they will, just in their own special way. Guys, if you are not subscribed to the Real Review 3000, who I'm finally going to be able to come on the show tonight for The Mandalorian, because I don't have to work tomorrow morning because I'm flying home. Guys, please make sure you're subscribed so you see our awesome show tonight. The Real Review 3000. We talked The Mandalorian, episode 4. I forget what time because I haven't made one yet.
That's fucked up. See, Chris, he don't care about you. Tell us what time the show
You're
is.
such a
so we can plug it.
dick.
God.
You know what, Steven? Do not sleep with your son's girlfriend's mom, you dirtbag. Anywho, Kip Ellis wants to say afternoon, folks.
Don't hate. I'm not like drunk 3PO, all right? I'm not stingy with my penis. All right? He's just trying to,
Well, he's
trying to
good
hold
look.
it
There's
in.
a difference.
No,
He's good
listen,
looking
y'all.
enough.
Listen, y'all.
And
No, he may be good looking, but he's stingy with the dick. Listen, ladies out there, look, if you're waiting in line for drunk 3PO, he's never gonna give it up. He's stingy with it. All right. If you need satisfaction, come see me. That's all I'm saying.
Now, can I say something? This has nothing to do with a 7 p.m. Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. So I will be on the Real Review 3000 tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, and I will be on Nerd Cookie's show tonight at 6 p.m. I think it's 6 p.m. Eastern, or is that Central?
No Soul Assassin. No.
Shit.
You know what?
I'll definitely be on the Real Review.
He's gonna be on Christie's show tonight, and he doesn't even care enough to know the proper time.
I care enough to give my boy
He's not
props.
reflective. He's not reflective of the overall culture of Rogue Entertainment.
Yeah. Oh, here we go again. Rogue Master General T speaking. Hey, you're in Rogue. Hey, you're in Rogue. You get a car. You get a car, you piece of crap. Let me ask a question.
I shared Stig's picture. You're not going to share it?
I want to ask. Yeah, I will in a second. God
All right.
damn
Well, why
it.
is there a men's
So-
health video playing?
I want my fans to do something.
I don't want to
You're
think
talking
about
about
porn and stuff
shut
like that.
your mouth for a second,
right.
Steven,
All right.
before I shut it for you.
Hmm.
So I'm going to pull a drunk 3PO move. If my fans care and they want to, I want
Let me send you
anytime Anna is on a stream, that Star Wars girl, I want you to super chat that stream and say, Anna, you need to be on Sporking News Podcast, The Dump. Because I let her know that my 2021 New Year's resolution is to get her on my show, even though she has no clue who the hell I am.
First
that
off,
is
you want her to be
putting out there.
on something called The Dump, and then you can't even enunciate.
Why?
Oh no, Steven. You're the one who can't speak. Okay, I'll put him back in. There you
Isn't it weird though that
don't y'all have mutual friends?
The guy known for his enemas is criticizing the dump?
Yes. He is the king of enemas. Everybody knows that. We do have mutual friends, but I'm working around that. I want to go through. I think my fans will support me, and they will try to get her on the dump.
With peer pressure.
Peer pressure has always worked. It always worked for me. God, how do you think I got laid in the 90s? Here we go. Add to stream.
This is from Rebels, right?
Uh-huh.
Just gonna lead somewhere?
Yeah. Share the next one.
Okay, share the next one, Steven.
If I do, I'm gonna show DMs. So yeah, give me a second. All right, hold on.
Gay you a second? What?
You know what, Scott? You're very irritating today.
I don't want you near me.
There you go. I don't want to be under you.
I put you on good understig.
Oh, there it is.
He's Norwegian. You don't know what he ate.
Probably fish.
Can you spot the ripoff? Same outfit, same goggles, same damn thing. This is Dave Filoni ripping off Dark Forces as well.
Well,
everyone gives Dave Filoni so much props, and I do not support the guy,
dude. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't with Filoni.
I can't, man.
Does he also lose his sight?
It's just it's the same characters. I mean, the lady on the right is a pilot on Rebels and in Dark Forces.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The same damn background.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Real quick to the Time Prophet. You don't have to super chat. You know, you can at her if she's in a stream. Just that is the next phase. We want Anna on the dump in 2021. That is our 2021 New Year's resolution to get her on the dump
via peer pressure. Did you even did you throw her a message? Just throw her a DM.
No,
sakes.
I will maybe sometime in the future, 2021. God, you're such a pushy son of a bitch. Hail, memes of destruction.
Correct.
Hail, and the jack of all casuals. Hail, panel and chat.
Hail.
What is going on? What is going on? What a great crowd we've had today. The jack of all casuals is currently working, so he's only lurking. I like that. That's how I roll. We want to finish this dumb article? Yeah, I think we should finish this one. Have we even started this one? Oh, we haven't even started this one. Okay.
And get Men's Health out of my damn way.
Yeah, you really need to learn more about Men's Health and your enema fucking issues. Yeah.
No one is putting their fingers up my hoo-ha. It's not happening. All right.
So the boys
exit only.
You know what? All I say is this: find a
I'll
doctor.
I'll go and get my colon checked when we have tricorders. Okay.
Well, I had to do it already. A little younger than you're supposed to, and let me tell you this: I switched doctors. Well, my first doctor was a large male with big fingers. I found a smaller male with little fingers.
Oh, so there was two of them. So it was like a three-way.
So he had to put his whole fist up?
All I know is I don't know how he was checking it. Well, he was checking it. How does he have both hands on my shoulder, though? That's what I just don't understand.
That wasn't a hand up your ass.
The boy Starr, Antony. Oh, it wasn't? Oh, Antony Starr rips into Trump supporters dressing as Homelander. Starr says MAGA fans paying tribute to the show's homicidal maniac are engaging in the art of ignorant, dumb fuckery.
What?
So, yeah, the one show that
fans for dressing up.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. We understand that your character is like really, the anti-hero, and
I like Homelander.
I love Homelander. Antony Starr is unbelievable.
Yes.
You wished you were what's her name? When they were bagging it. I'll be honest, I don't know what it is about that actress or the way she was playing that part, but I actually was attracted to her. Not like Starlight.
When she was all burnt,
Starlight is
talking German. That was hot.
They were like a little hip. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like when she was like burnt in half and she was just speaking German. That was sexy.
Yeah, she was a 9 out of 10.
Oh my god, that was the best. That is one of your best puns yet. That is one of your best puns yet. Dr. Dave, howdy y'all. Howdy, Dr. Dave.
Howdy, Dr. Dave. Stay away from my anus.
Kitty Bear saying, Sporking is a pussy. He doesn't dare ask himself.
Yeah.
Asking himself. Well, you know.
I see him in the
you are what you eat.
I see him bent over that bed with the plastic sheeting on it, the paper sheeting on it, just crying a little bit.
Yep.
During that whole
you
session.
Actually don't go the long way. You actually go the width of the table. And I did ask if he was wearing your watch.
I mean, at least give me a reach around, flick the back of him, my sack or something.
Yeah.
And I can't do it.
Yeah. I know your prostate's the size of a grapefruit. It has to be huge.
It's very healthy.
The way you enema yourself and shove things up there. Another monster in the house. What's up, brother?
Yeah, we can relax. What?
Popo at Steven's house. Watch out, everybody.
I live Wilmington's right next to me. What do you expect?
Zagharat 315. What up?
What's up, Zagharat?
All right, let's read a little of this and get it going. Let's get one thing straight about Amazon Prime's video series, The Boys. Homelander, the series villain and Superman stand-in, is evil. We're talking really evil, like psychopathic murderer and rapist evil. So now that we have that established, let's talk about how a couple people spotted cosplaying as Homelander were spotted at last week's Million MAGA March in Washington, D.C. One image shared on Twitter has someone in a Homelander costume with a Donald Trump cutout over their face mock arrested someone with a Joe Biden cutout over their face. Are they actually watching the show? Eric Kripke, showrunner of The Boys, wrote. Like, why even get involved in it?
This time I'm
Look
gonna
at the odd piece on that guy. What?
I'm gonna side with the SJWs on this, because if that MAGA guy dresses as Homelander and he thinks that's gonna make Trump look good, he's a dumbass.
Yes.
I don't think that's what he was trying to do. He wasn't trying to do that. It's just a costume. He's just playing.
Yeah, but a costume of who? Right.
But it could be one guy saying that Trump is this evil superhero, but yet Biden also should be in jail. Like, we don't know what those people were trying to say with this cosplay. They're assuming that they were supporting Trump. But I don't know. From the picture, Trump looks like a moron in it, and Biden does too. So why, you know what I mean? So why think that's what they were talking about? Why am I doing this?
People have fun. Let people have fun.
Given the context, though, it's still a dumbass costume to wear for a MAGA rally.
Yes, I understand where you're coming from. I even understand where Kripke's coming from. If you've watched the show and they leaned into it hard this last season, doing the whole America First crap and, riling up your base and all that dumb crap that they were pulling in this second season, I understand why he's saying what he's saying, but why put it out there? Why even go after? Now you have alienated half your audience, most likely, because you took sides once again. Why can't an actor be like the old school and just shut their mouth and act? I don't want to know a high school dropout's freaking politics.
But if you really don't like him, then you should applaud the costume choice then. If that's the situation, right? If you think that he's just acting, he's putting on a show like a lot of politicians and famous people, you should be like, yeah, perfect costume. That's what he could have said.
Right. And that right there, who is saying it was a Trump supporter? Who's not saying that this could be two people that hate both candidates? Who could say that this isn't somebody, like you're assuming? That's what bothers me. You know what they say when you assume? You make an ass out of you and you. Biden is Lex Luthor. I like that. Apparently, this is what I'm trying to say. Apparently, fun is no longer acceptable. Only in Ironcast is saying it is only generic Halloween USA costumes Is it possible they didn't realize it's from The Boys? Easily could be. Easily be some guy saw it and was like, oh, this is super American, and really didn't know The Boys. And now Kripke's embarrassing them on, national Twitter shit. And then Antony Starr, who plays Homelander, quoted Kripke's tweet with a response of his own, "The art of ignorant, dumb fuckery." And then he figured, right. Yeah.
He's not wrong.
He's not. I mean, I'm done with this article. He's not wrong, Stig, and you're absolutely right. What bothers me is why? Why do you even have to assume what these people were thinking? Why, as a actor, when I think of actors, I think of people that try not to be in the news too much, because then you lose the mystery of who that person is, and then they can't just become a character. Now I will see Antony Starr as the guy who hates Trump supporters. And I won't, but that maybe somebody will, I don't know.
Yeah.
It bothers the crap out of me.
Celebrities used to be, sort of removed from everything. They were part of the fantasy. They were part of the escapism. And now they just want to lower themselves to the real world, bickering and foolishness. And why?
Right.
If I were that famous and that rich, there's no way I would be on Twitter or Instagram.
No way. No way.
Why?
Yeah, listen, I plan on winning Mega Millions this week. And if I do, you may never see me on YouTube again. I might support you guys. That's what about it. If I'm rich and famous, what's the point of alienating people when your whole job is to pretend to be somebody else? I don't understand it. I'm so sick of it.
To bring people together.
You have to keep in mind, though, that most actors are full-blown narcissists.
Oh, God, yeah. No, that's absolutely right. I mean, there's narcissists wherever you look in Hollywood. This, right? Unbelievable. I don't know.
You think would make them understand Trump a little better? He's one of them.
Yeah. Absolutely. I don't know. It bothers me that, it's social media has given everyone a voice, which is a great thing and a terrible thing in the same breath.
Yeah.
Because everyone thinks they're important.
The thing is, though, it gives everyone a voice, but it gives the crazies a megaphone.
Mm-hmm. Look at Dr. Dave says it. He thinks it was James Stewart who said actors should learn their lines and try not to bump into the furniture. There you go. Go. I love that. That's so good. I don't know. What else you guys have? I'm about to wrap it up. We've been going for a little over 2 hours. Wow, I was not planning on that, but damn, that was fun.
I have a little bit of news.
Yeah, please.
Mel Gibson, in an interview, confirmed that they're working on Lethal Weapon 5 with the old director, Richard Donner. He's working on it. Gibson, Pesci, Glover, and Rene Russo are all on board.
No way. Everybody's back.
Yeah, it's supposed to be named Lethal Finale or something.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Dude, I will definitely see that.
I will too.
And while we're here and you brought up a movie, what do you guys feel about having a tentpole superhero movie go into movie theaters and on HBO Max at the same time? I'm talking about Wonder Woman. What do you think? Is that going to be the death knell of movie theaters? Or is it just the last resort these studios have where they're not going to lose money?
I think they knew they have a shit movie on their hands and just took the money from HBO.
I don't know. I'm praying. The footage I've seen of the full-blown cheetah, I'm really hoping they've worked on that because, wow, that was terrible. Yeah. What do you think, Jayne?
I just think that this reflects the future. I think we were headed this way before 2020, really. theaters were already losing money. Streaming services are huge. Yeah, I don't think I think it's inevitable that this is what we're going to have going forward if we have theaters at all. And if you make good movies, people will pay to stream them. So
they tried to sell the Bond movie to Netflix as well for $700 million, and Netflix didn't want to pay it.
I am shocked about that.
Yeah, Midnight Edge talked about it.
Really? I missed that one.
They're not only trying to buy up everything they can.
They tried to sell it to Netflix for $700, and Netflix did not want to pay for it. So the Bond movie is now in limbo again. And if they can't sell it, yeah, well, if they can't sell it, they have to market it all over again, which is going to cost a ton. They're already in the red with this movie big time. So,
oh god, yeah,
because they did market it, right?
Yes, they've been marketing it for a while now.
Yeah, they did the whole marketing campaign, and now
they had to fix it though.
So
the
they
first
have to,
campaign sucked, and they had to redo it and start over because people rejected how the female character was treating Bond, and then they came up with a new version of the trailer and everything. I remember that controversy.
Even though she's still going to be treating Bond like that, so it's all right. It's all right. You know, James Bond is how many movies deep, how many books deep, but let's just write him off.
They hired the feminist droid from the Solo movie. The lady who played that one was hired to make the new Bond movie Me Too friendly. And she did it, and this is what we get.
And it sucks too, because I've been saying I think it would be cool. I like the sort of mentor-mentee thing.
Yes, that's fine.
Father-daughter training thing.
They could have done
that here and spun her off her own series.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. But she shouldn't.
But once again, they hijack already existing series, right, Stig?
Exactly.
Yeah, shouldn't be 007. She should be 005 or something.
Right. I mean, we've had other 00s.
Sean Bean.
Why not? Right. And I understand that 00 status, there's only so many, there's 9 of them, that you can only transfer it so many times. But why in the hell, in a series that's all about James Bond 007, will you take his code name and give it to the female character? It's another woke freaking mess. And Nina says it best when she says, good, no one wanted to see some chick Bond remove a tampon in the name of empowerment. And even Netflix sees that. And that's coming from a woman, people. I'm just responding to what a woman said on my chat. She's right, though. Bond is the alpha male. He's a suave alpha male, though. He's a English alpha male. And it was always a character that guys wanted to be and women wanted to be with. And now they are going to just destroy that character because, I guess it's no longer, of the Me Too era and the 2016 plus. I don't know. We are going to wrap this sucker up, guys. Thank you so much. This chat has been awesome. Guys, thank you so much. We've been going now for over 2 hours. So let's start with Jayne. Let them know where they can find you.
Yes, you can find me here on YouTube, where I post movie and television reviews, as well as some occasional pop culture news and commentary. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram, and now Parler at Jayne Theory.
Yes, Parler. I am on Parler too. Thank you, Jayne. And Stig Kenobi?
I'm not doing much. Just, movie thing with Christie next weekend, and Star Wars stuff with Laura on Thursday.
Nice.
That's
all right.
And I have t-shirts now.
Teespring, everybody. It's somewhere in the chat. Find it and order a top 5.
It's somewhere in the chat. Jesus.
I don't have it right now, Steven. God, you're a dick. You could be the one doing it. I'm trying to run a show while you're in the background, muted, doing whatever freaky thing you're doing with large quantities of sausages. Here is the Teespring, everybody. Here is the Teespring.
This is how you do it. Subscribe to Stig Kenobi because he does not want you to.
But he also wants people to check out his Teespring, jerk. Thank you, author Stephen Walton. And now, the Astorian himself, the king of the enemas, with coffee added.
God.
Author Stephen Walton.
These are unfounded claims began by Nerd Cookies and Jayne Theory. If Jayne is drinking, do not trust her. She is a troublemaker. Thank you. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it. Thanks, Scott, for inviting me on. It's great seeing Stig again because Stig is one of my favorite one-liners in all of whatever hashtag he carries. YouTube.
No, you're just sucking up because of the Swede stuff.
There you go, bro.
Maybe
it's not working.
I'm not looking forward to that top 5. But buy his shirts. Buy his top 5 shirts.
You know what, Steven? If you spam my shirts and someone actually buys it, I'll let you off the hook.
All right, we're gonna do that. Please, guys, if you could check out Jayne Theory. If put her videos on play all. Let's try and get her up to her monetization hours. That would really mean a lot to all of us. Thank you very much for being here today, guys. Let's support one another. If you have a voice, use it. If you have something to say, if you're a writer, if you're an artist, just get out and do it. Be creative, man. And thank you very much for supporting everybody in the chats. We really appreciate you. F that thing. And
what's the matter, Steven?
And that's
look into my eyes.
Very gay.
You know how a wish will. You know how you make a wish with me.
I love y'all. I can't. I gotta go. Oh my God.
Steven, you're right where you have to be to make a wish with this gin.
I'm not doing it. No, I'm not doing it.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. I will be back Wednesday night. We won't have a Monday stream because I'll be flying home. So we will have our Wednesday, the Humpty Dump edition. Hopefully, I know we'll have a couple guests, I think, actually. There might be multiple guests on that show.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. Can I cut in for a second? Besides, wash your hands and wash your ass.
Yeah, of course.
This week on TR4, we are going to have one of the founders of the Fandom Menace, people I consider the founders of the Menace. Jessie Milestone of Mindless Entertainment is going to be on. I'm looking forward to seeing her. She's also got a chapter in the Fandom Menace Volume 2. So, my love to Jessie. And if you could, guys, if you're on Twitter, go check out Jessie's profile. Her kitty had to have a surgery this week, and the surgery was a success. But unfortunately, it may cause more problems. And she's started I'm not sure if it's a GoFundMe, but it's a fundraiser because 2020 has been hard on all of us. And so she's trying to raise money for a surgery, another surgery that she needs for her cat. So if you guys are animal lovers, if you have a couple dollars, to throw toward helping Jessie out, please do that. And thank you very much. Sorry, Scotty. Thanks.
Yes. No, it's all right. Damn. Any procedure for an animal is so freaking expensive.
Yeah, if you got, if you got a few bucks to throw at it, that'd be great. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. So thank you, guys. Tonight, I'll probably be on at least for an hour with Nerd Cookies and other losers, compared to us, me and Nerd Cookies. And then and Chris Knight's channel at, I believe, 8:00 Eastern time, where we talk The Mandalorian, The Siege, and why that is the dumbest name for that episode. But everybody take care. Put a spork in it. We are done.
Wash your hands and wash your ass. Seriously, though, wash your ass.
Everything.
Do it.
No. Why don't you wash your dick?
I did that for International Men's Day. I said wash your dick, but just wash your ass. Get it clean. Don't spread nothing. I mean, it's just good